Hi everyone, Alan from Newlands Nursery. Welcome to today's 5-Minute Friday. And this one is a fantastic hardy container, but I suppose it's an introduction to a range of hardy geraniums as well. So these in front of me, these 3 hardy geraniums are Jolly Jewels. They're dwarf hardy geraniums, which makes them absolutely perfect for containers. They work in borders as well. In fact, in our own garden, we've got them around the edge of borders and they work really, really well. They are a plant that flowers and flowers and flowers all through the summer. So really, really good value, and they come in fantastic range of colours. So this is 3 of the range. We've got a lovely lilac here, which has often got one of the bigger flowers in the range. This is raspberry, and this particular colour has been so popular this year, and you can see why. And this one's called Night, which has got a really deep purple, I suppose that's deep purple, deep lilac colour to it. But often people will look at them and think, well, they're a bit small. They are small, they're designed to be small, they are dwarf varieties. Which isn't going to suit every garden, but it does suit containers and the edge of borders, and I really, really like them. So we're just going to plant up this container. They are a plant that will spread, so they're easily spread 25 centimetres, which is about the size of this container. And the great thing about that is when we plant it, they're going to grow into each other. I've chosen quite a shallow container, which you can see there. The reason being is I always think you want a shallow container for plants that are quite short. So the height you're going to get is roughly around about here, sort of 10, 15, maybe 20 centimetres high with the flowers. So you don't want something that's too deep because they just sort of look out of place. So let's get planting, shall we? In fact, actually I'll lay them out so you can see how we do it. With 3 plants it's really easy. We just plant them in a triangle, just like that. Okay, because it's a round container and because there's 3 of them, doesn't actually matter which ones you do, especially with 3 varieties, because the reality about it is that there's always a front, there's kind of never a back. So there's no issue with that at all. So when you've decided where you're going to do, what you can do is if you gently push the pot into the container, into the compost, sorry, it will leave some indentations for where you're going to plant and make the holes. So I'll make some holes in those areas, just like that. What you're ideally looking for is a hole in the compost that is just slightly bigger than the root ball, which in this case is slightly bigger than the pot. Got a spider crawling down there. Okay, so just make your 3 holes, just like that. It's one of the joys of working in a nursery. It's still crawling down my neck. There we go. Okay. Right, so let's plant the first one. So this is the lilac, the one with the really big flowers to it. So I'll just squeeze the pot and just place it in there. I'm going to tuck them in afterwards when I've planted all 3. So this one's the Night, or it's called Night, not the Night. And it's Ni rather than the guy with a sword. Okay, let's just place that one in there. Just tuck it in, and then the last one, you won't have to keep rotating the container. And raspberry, the super popular one of the more popular hardy geraniums of the year. So that is then planted in a triangle shape, and then all that's left to do is tuck them in. So you can use the compost you've sort of pushed aside if you need to. It's a bit lower here, you can top up just like that. But what we're aiming to do is the root ball of the plant, make sure it's in contact with the compost. It's as simple as that. Now it will look fairly bare at the moment. I think there is a temptation, especially when this is a hardy container, and this will flower and can stay in here all through next year as well. There's a temptation to put too many plants in there and they just don't look quite as natural over the long term. So don't necessarily be tempted to fill these gaps with loads and loads of hardy geraniums. If you wanted to, you could put a few annual plants in here just so it fills over for that short period of time. but I personally wouldn't. I'd give these plants time to breathe, time to grow out, and as with almost anything in gardening, you'll reap the rewards of that patience in a few months' time. But these are going to flower now, as you can see, and all through this summer. So if you've got any questions about the Jolly Jules range of hardy geraniums or about planting them up, then get in contact. See you soon.